All right, welcome to another episode of the Freezin for NFC North Podcast episode. This is going to be episode 85, a special Justin Fields trade reaction show. I am joined, I am NFL Outdated, and I've been interacting with people ever since this happened not too long ago on Twitter X, and my good man, Reverend Rev Trev said, let's do a reaction show, and why not? Why not? So welcome again. Rev Trev, where can everyone find you as we get started here?
Hey, Andy, thanks for having me on. You can follow me at Rev Trev NFL on TikTok, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. Glad to be here.
All right. So I'm going to give you the first crack at it, and I'm still kind of digesting this stuff, trying to, fend off Packer fans, laughing at all of the compensation and what it all means. Still trying to fend off some of the Justin Fields Bears fan haters, presumably at least the Fields era has come to a conclusion. And now it's on to draft, and obviously a lot of people saying, Caleb, we'll see about that. But it's from outside looking in, Packer fan. What was your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I was actually shocked because not that Justin Fields got traded, I just felt the compensation was extremely low, and so my initial reaction is, why trade him then? Like, why not just keep him? And if you're only getting a 6th-round pick, like, let's be honest, 6th-round picks don't always pan out. So that's what I'm most shocked about. It's like, I'm not shocked that they actually traded Justin Fields, even though I thought they could have gone with him. My initial reaction was, wow, that is low. Like, I made a TikTok video just quickly after it was done, and I said, I thought you guys were going to get a second at least. If not, worst case scenario, you're going to get a third. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, that's what shocked me. And I understand moving on from him and that whole thing, but wow, I'm shocked.
Yeah, I'm still kind of digesting it, right? And me, I still have to record my farewell to Justin. Right. And I had it all written. Thought it would probably, could happen. But still kind of digesting this, why this happened now. And the Bears did kind of release a statement from Ryan Poles, saying this is kind of why it happened. Obviously not going into details. It is a little bit frustrating. You kind of see me, I've been kind of on the Ryan Poles, bandwagon as well, like what he's been doing and starting to build. We just got some goodwill with Keenan Allen, really looking for some serious weapons finally for the Bears in 2024. And then kind of this happened. And so to me, my initial reaction was denial, right?
Right.
But the second one, I think, is, he folded, Ryan Poles folded, and it's like, I didn't want to see that. I don't want to admit that, because I think, if it was going to be this low, then why not continue to wait? And I know they said they want to do right by Justin Fields. So that's probably, that's kind of what they're saying. They want to do right. They didn't want to kind of let it drag on. Right. But that's the frustrating thing. I would rather see it be, if you're going to trade him, at least let it go and see if we can get a little bit more. Now, the other frustrating thing of it as well, it's a 6th-round conditional 4th round, depending on playing time. Right. And obviously we'll have to look and see what that all amounts to. But then the report came out immediately that Justin Fields would not be competing for the starting job. So I think that's frustrating as well, because it's like, okay, well, basically it is a 6th-round pick then, and Ryan Poles flinched. And now you have, basically, Justin Fields kind of, on a tryout. They're going to see, basically, they can maybe see what he has in practice and say, okay, well, maybe we want to go long-term, as opposed to giving him the playing time to see what he can do. So I don't know. That's the frustrating thing for me. I would have rather seen them kind of hold on to him and just kind of drag it out and say, okay, well, maybe a team really wants Caleb, and then they would trade for him. Now, on the flip side, all of the Caleb truthers on the Bears side are taking their victory laps, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's been pretty toxic for you guys, right?
Yeah,
Because it's either like all in on Justin, all in on Caleb, or going with a quarterback. So I'm with you though. Like, it doesn't really make sense in the way like Keenan Allen coming. That's massive. Like, how exciting is it that you guys landed Swift, and then you've gotten Keenan Allen, and you got weapons, and it's like I'm surprised. Like, why wouldn't you just keep Justin or whatever? I'm getting choked up, Andy.
That's right. Yeah, whatever. Keep him, or whatever rookie quarterback we go with, right? Yeah, I think that's what I'm. Obviously, I can see it from a couple different perspectives. Obviously, it would have been nice to see Justin Fields with the receivers. Then kind of looking at maybe they were really trying to target another veteran receiver for this rookie quarterback, right? And just it doesn't necessarily make sense though for it just with how old Keenan Allen is, and he's on a 1-year tryout. So, I mean, it's really, there's going to be a lot expected from the rookie quarterback in 2024. I mean, this is, you have a rookie quarterback and as a GM, you say, okay, well, maybe we have a little bit of time to kind of grow, but I mean, Bears fans are going to be wanting some wins, especially with how we did last year, started to stack up on the defense and started to kind of grow. And now you get Keenan Allen to add with that. So I can see they want a veteran receiver to just maybe usher in the rookie quarterback. But I wanted to speak to that other point, and I'm not sure kind of where you are on quarterbacks. Obviously, you haven't had to look at one of these two, but I am still going to hold on. I know Caleb truthers are saying, oh, well, it's a foregone conclusion. I'm going to still say, what if the Bears trade down to 2 and get Jaden Daniels? What if they do that? I am not opposed to doing that because the Bears have to do something to get more draft picks. There's just no way they can only have 4 draft picks this year. There's some other holes we need to address that we have not even in free agency yet. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on, Caleb versus the crowd?
Yeah. So if you're not going Caleb, I'm with you. You have to trade that pick. The problem is, I don't think you're trading with 2, right? So why would the 2 move up to 1? Because it's like, well, maybe they don't want Caleb. Maybe they want the guy that you guys want. And so to me, it would be, you're going to have to go farther down, and then you're gambling, which is totally fine, because if you're like believe in a couple of these guys, I think that's totally cool. It's just a little bit risky, right? And
so
go ahead.
I can absolutely see that. So that's what I would I might push back a little bit on that. And so that's the question, Caleb Williams has been the golden boy for, I don't know, since last year's draft, right? It's like, oh, everyone's going to tank for Caleb. This is the guy, this generational and everything. And I still think, maybe Washington really, really wants him, wants a local kid. And maybe they get a little bit antsy to say, hey, the Patriots or maybe the Giants or maybe the Vikings, some other team's going to fall in love with him and say, we need to get him. Obviously the Vikings have loaded up with those 2 first round picks now to trade up in the top 4, presumably. So now why don't you think the Bears would be able to trade with Washington too?
Well, I just don't think it makes any sense for Washington to trade at 2. Why would they do that? Why would they move up 1 spot to get, unless I think they're really happy at 2. It doesn't matter to them. Is Caleb Williams, or insert whatever quarterback that's number 2 or number 3, is there a guy that's like clear cut? And I think some people think it is Caleb. If Caleb Williams is really that good, then the Bears should just take him at 1. right?
Right. And I think that's what, yeah, I mean, Bears Twitter, Bears media, everybody's been saying that it's a slam dunk, and that's what, and you know me, that's what's worried me all along. Like I want to, I don't want to hear everything that's good. Everyone is saying, oh, the highlights, he's generational, this, and this, repeating,
Mhm.
regurgitating the same thing over and over
Yes,
again. I want to hear, what does he need to improve on? Because you know me, I still love Justin Fields, right?
of course.
But I'm still, of the mind that he has to improve on some things. And I think any player, anybody in their profession, no matter how good you are, there's room to improve. And that's what's
Totally.
really kind of scared me a little bit about Caleb Williams, that everyone's just, drinking the Kool-Aid like their seventh letter in their Lions.
Right? No, and it's true. So, yeah, you're right. There is some negatives. I think people are saying personality or character. Like, is it still true that he wants part of the organization? Because that, to me, if
I don't
that's a
think so.
true statement, like if this is like I watched Air Jordan and now I got inspired because Michael Jordan got the shoe deal. Like if he does that, you guys are kind of hooped because you traded away Justin Fields, right?
Mhm.
Like if you drafted him and had Justin Fields and he does that, and you're like, okay, go for it. Sit there. We've got Justin Fields, right? But this is the problem, is like, so what's wrong? What's the negatives about Caleb? It's the personality. It's I'm not going to go to the combine and throw. You've seen my game tape. I mean, there's a lot there, but like actual in a game, what does he do? I mean, that's already kind of determined what he's good at and what he's not, right?
See, I don't know about that, and that's the, everyone's saying it's a slam dunk, and everyone's kind of looking at tapes, and
Yeah.
anybody in their brother can look at tapes, but if you're a coach in the NFL, if you're in the front office, that's the those are the eyes that in
Yes.
the viewpoint that I want to hear from. I don't want to hear from Joe Schmo just like me. It's like, oh, I watched every one of his plays, and oh, he hit this play, he did that play. Okay, well, no, you have. And I heard on Chicago radio, a little bit ago, a month or so ago, that talked Charlie Weiss said, we don't know what you know Justin Fields had been coached to do, and it just coaches look at plays differently than we do, and so that's I don't know.
I
It's
agree. So wouldn't that be then you're interviewing the university coaches and saying, "Hey, tell me what he needs to work on. Tell me like that kind of stuff."
say that again. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they would be interviewing the all of their here's yeah. I mean, they'll big time background checks, right?
Of course, 100%. Like they said when they drafted Carl Malone off of the Utah Jazz, they interviewed a
Mhm.
7th grade teacher.
Well, obviously they missed something. They missed his love child,
Well,
Karl
yeah, I mean
Malone.
that happened later on in life. They would have never guessed that, right? But the point being is, I think that teams are doing their due diligence nowadays, and especially with
Yes,
the
a lot better.
Trubisky mess up, you've got to do. I mean, I think that this is a different regime, right? This is not the
Yes.
same regime, but what I'm saying is, I think they're going to do their due diligence, and if they take Caleb, they're all in, right? But
Oh,
if they
absolutely.
don't, like, so is it Daniels that you think they should take?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I have reservations about him because he's a little bit thinner. I am someone who has been on trust polls, and so uh,
Yeah.
he's gonna have to if he screws this up, I mean he's out, right? And like Coach T says, weighing in here, Caleb's gonna have to, or whoever the quarterback is, they're gonna have to win Super Bowls. That's just
Yeah.
but number one, first off, they're gonna have to be the Green Bay Packers. That is first and foremost. And me on Twitter, I'm still gonna be Bears sweeping Packers all the way. But you got to talk it into existence. That's number one. Beat the Packers. Start there. This team, the Bears, were 7-10, super close. Fourth quarter meltdowns away from being 10-7, with Justin
Yeah.
Fields out 4.5 games.
Yes.
With
Yeah.
Sweat there only half of the time. And
Mhm.
so if they regress from 7 wins, I'm gonna be pissed. Like
Right.
I've kind of been just kind of like taking it easy, kind of saying, okay, what's gonna happen? But this has to be the right move. It really looks like they may be all in on 2024, right? I mean, like the Cowboys say, we're all in on 24. Well, they don't do anything, right? I think maybe Ryan Poles, it needs to be. This has to be, this has to be something relatively right away, and that scares me a little bit too. Like you don't want that for your rookie quarterback, that much pressure.
Exactly. But you're right. If you get less than 7 wins, you should be upset as a fan base because, and I thought with the healthy Fields, you guys are looking dangerous. I think this is the problem I have as a Packers fan. Like I'm like you. You don't like the Packers. I hate the Bears too, right? But at the end of the day, you got to look at this team and go, it has improved. It is better than last year. And everyone's like, oh, we're going to steamroll you. It's like, well, I'm not saying we're going to I'm not going to say, hey, sit here and go, oh, you guys are going to sweep us. But at the end of the day, if you're improving, that's important to look at, right? And I'm just sitting there going, wow, you got 7 wins from 3 last year. You added a wide receiver that's definitely arguably the best route runner in the NFL. Now, if he can stay healthy, right? We understand Swift is an upgrade at running back. So that's true. You've got Sweat for the whole time. And if you have a healthy quarterback, the problem is you're going backwards in a rookie guy who's never played yet. That's why I thought you guys might just stick with both of them or just with Fields because it would give you the best shot to win this year. But if you know what I mean? I don't mean to ramble there. I just think those are important pieces to say that this is not a far gap anymore. I think the Bears are good in the division. I think they're going to, you guys are going to contend with the Lions, with the Packers. And if the Vikings find a quarterback, it's going to be a bloodbath, right? So they have to keep up with the Joneses. No pun intended to Aaron Jones. But I think the Bears are doing that. And if Caleb Williams outplays Justin Fields, oh my goodness, this team looks good.
So, yeah, and I agree. But, beyond the whole Justin Fields versus Caleb or rookie quarterback thing, the one thing that bothers me most about this, obviously we got Keenan Allen, and that was a fantastic upgrade. The one thing that bothers me most, and the one thing that was most tantalizing for me is trading down from number 1 to get more picks, to continue to build. And that's, and through the 90s, the Bears were just average, or to horrible, and it's worse to be average, I think, in the NFL than to be either, obviously really good or, just terrible. Because if you're terrible, you're getting draft assets. And obviously the Bears have kind of failed at some of those draft assets in the past. But when you look at, having 4 picks this year, we're going to have to hit on all 4. And when you look at 2023, I feel like the Bears hit on a lot of those picks, right? But we still need an offensive tackle. I was falling in love with Joe Alt. I would have loved him.
Oh man,
I'm not 100. Yeah, and I wasn't 100%, on Marvin Harrison Jr. like a lot of people, because there are a lot of other receivers later on the Bears can get. But yeah, just that tackle, to have him there, that just and needed another edge, and so it's just giving up on those that draft haul is it's hard at this point to not see the plan yet.
Yeah, but maybe you're thinking of it the wrong way. Let me give you a different perspective. You draft Caleb Williams or whatever quarterback. Let's just say Caleb for argument's sake. Slam dunk, you get the guy that's touted. You trade the other one and move down. Because it's not, is it 9?
Yeah, 9. Yeah. That's
so
probably
you're not
going to
you're not going to get that tackle. He's off the board, right? So what you can do is you can be sitting there at 9. If the tackle keeps coming down to you, is it Alt? Is that the same? Alt keeps dropping?
Joe Alt, yep.
Yeah, Joel keeps dropping, and you get him at 9. Then you're like, we just hit the lottery. We got Caleb Williams. We got the tackle. We're ready to go. But if you don't get him there, if he goes through, then you go on. Okay, now we've got an action plan in place. We're trading now 9. We've just gotten 20. We've gotten 27, whatever it is, and then all of a sudden you rounded it out, and it's really not that big of a drop off from there.
How crazy would that be too if we don't know what the Vikings, we don't know who their target is, and a lot of Vikings fans want JJ McCarthy. I don't know why, but they do, right? How crazy would that be if just how things shake out of the draft, they get a little bit antsy and want to trade up a couple spots to 9, and we get 11 or maybe we get 23 or something. I mean, if it falls through with them to trade up into the 4 spot or wherever they're trying to get the quarterback, because the Vikings need a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean that is the rumor now, right? Because you're not going into this. You're not going into the season with with Darnold. I'm sorry. I mean, you might be starting him for 2 games,
right?
But if you're, I don't care who it is, JJ McCarthy, it's was it Bo Nix? Is that right? Whatever. No, Penix. It is Penix, right?
The Bears.
I don't care who the quarterback is. You can't go with Darnold. They're not going with Darnold. Maybe they trade for Justin Fields. Maybe they trade for Russell Wilson. I have no idea. Anything's better than what they have right now.
It is.
So they've got to be moving, don't you think? Like if we look at the draft board right now, you have Minnesota at 11, right? And Minnesota at 23. If they're trading down, man, if you could do, well, you can't because you need a quarterback. Too bad you couldn't trade 1 and get 11 and 23 and like a couple firsts in the next couple of years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Too risky though. Too risky.
That is, especially with needing that top level quarterback now. I mean, that's a given right now. So, I mean, the dream scenario, even, keeping Fields or whatever, for me would have been to trade to 2, and either get a quarterback or trade back and continue to get more. Because just that, and I get it. I think, you draft assets are huge. But for some of these GMs, when they look at their jobs, it's win now, right? And that's why, when you look at this move for, peanuts, right? Justin Fields for peanuts, which, it sucks,
yes, it does.
But I think, maybe Kevin Warren, maybe there's a lot of pressure there from him for polls to win. I mean, we don't know as far as Eberflus. We don't know, how long is he going to be here? I mean, it sucks too, because I feel like with this situation, it just sits. We've seen this before, right? And I know you guys have seen this before. I mean, we have a rookie quarterback coming in, and what if you have Caleb, takes time to adjust? What if we get rid of Eberflus? I mean, it just, and we're starting all over again.
You also so that's the negative way to look at it, right? And you're being realist, and that's okay. But what if he's Patrick Mahomes and throws 50 touchdowns in his rookie season? You know what I mean? Like, I know that's like dreaming, but it happened in the NFL. Now he waited; he was there for a year. Even if he did Jordan Love and threw 30 touchdowns, something incredible like that, I mean, he's going to struggle. We know that it's going to happen. It's at NFL speed. It's not college anymore.
Yes.
But maybe he's that good. And I'm just saying, I know you're trying to temper your expectations.
Oh, absolutely.
But what you probably need to do is just say, you know what, this is our guy. We're going to go all in now, and I'm excited to see. You'll still always be a little bit more. I think also you're a little ticked off that they traded Justin. You wanted them to keep him. So this is a little, I mean, I get it. I would be disappointed too if I was a Bears fan, but at the same time, I'd be excited because if this guy is what everyone's saying, I mean, I don't care what happens in the draft. I don't care that you only had 4 picks. If you get the next generational talent, wow. Like,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That I mean, that's kind of like that's what we've all been wanting, right? That's I mean, Chicago, we've wanted that forever. And I remember back when the Bears, traded to get the Justin Fields to pick him. And I was surprised by that. Oh, like okay, we're doing
yeah,
something here, and so you want that. You also want the stability. You want the structure there to help develop the quarterback. But as you know, NFL is not for long, right? I mean,
right.
and he's going to have to produce. I mean, you even knew that this year with the Packers, right? I mean,
Yeah,
obviously now with Jordan Love, things ended. They went on a run, right? And so it's
yeah,
so easy to kind of look at things with the colored glasses, and now Packer fans are saying MVP, Love, Super Bowl, and all this and
yeah,
that. And
yeah.
uh, you know, these quarterbacks have to sustain it for a long period of time. And I think that's probably what happened to Fields, is just he had a lot of the splash plays, right? And that I loved. And that's why what I
Totally.
was kind of holding on to. But he just wasn't consistent enough to show Ryan Poles or for maybe Ryan Poles to bet his job, on it. That's probably what it was. So yeah, it's definitely stinging, as far as because I'm a Fields guy. Um, and it's just, you got now JJ Leahy on here saying Jordan Love's about ready to sign his extension. And, that who knows? Maybe he regresses this year too. So
Yeah,
that's me.
it's
Yeah.
possible. It's possible. I don't think when what we saw that's going to happen, but if it does, and I mean, hey, listen, Jalen Hurts. Everyone was saying like, and the Philadelphia Eagles were that they were going back to the Super Bowl. That it was them and the Niners, and all of a sudden they had a real down, like played terrible down the stretch, and that happens. This is a league of parity. It's not
Mhm.
easy to win games. It's not. When you win a game, so much has to go your way. You have to have such execution. And so I understand what they're trying to do. Like for me, polls, I'm like, you know what? I like it that you're like, you know what? This if we want to win a Super Bowl, this is our best chance. Like Justin Fields, as much as I really respect his game, was he going to be considered the best Bears quarterback of all time? They decided no, he's not. They want
Right.
they want Caleb Williams or whoever they're going to be drafting to be that guy. And I like the boldness of that, saying we believe that this kid is going to be the next whatever. That's what's exciting about this move to me.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree, and I think as I process right this, and when you look at it, obviously everyone is saying that you look at some of the tape, and Caleb can make all the throws and everything like that, and
It's exciting.
so it is exciting, and I think when you look at 2024, it's definitely going to you know put a little bit a different spin on things now for the offense. Obviously, Justin Fields had wanted to be the first Bear quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards, I believe it was, right? Never had that, and so now it's going to be on. And I'm not ready to crown Caleb officially yet, but it's going to be on the next quarterback to do that,
Yes,
and so. But it's also incumbent on the GM to set that quarterback up roster wise,
totally.
and so as far as receiver wise, you have a DJ Moore who did come out and say business is business, like, and that's what I love about DJ Moore, is that he was supportive of Justin, but he realized this is a business, and so I think taking the emotion out of it, and I'll probably be able to buy the draft by once they've kind of made that choice. Say, okay, let's go. Let's see where we can go. Because yes, at the end of the day, I'm a Bears fan. I'm going to roll with whoever's out there at quarterback and hope for the best. Now, if Shane Waldron, that's going to be the other thing too, as far as the offensive coordinator. Can he put a rookie quarterback right away in the best possible, positions to win, to be successful? And now I think the good thing is that this rookie quarterback, whoever it is, right, is going to be the unquestioned starter from day one. I mean, obviously, we don't do it like the Packers do it, right? We want that quarterback, and it's going to be the number one. It's going to be that number one pick starting or right away. And it's not what it was with Fields, where you had this veteran coming in saying, well, I've been promised a job, and so Nagy doesn't give him any the rookie quarterback any snaps in the preseason, and it was just that was a mess.
Totally. I know. I think the fan base should be pretty excited that you've gotten a fresh start. I know that you feel like, now you got to learn. Someone's got to learn the NFL. The good news is you're on a rookie contract again, and it resets, so that helps. I think that's important. And I think that was part of the factor, I bet you, in that conversation. But yeah, I don't know, man. To me, now you're not. You're going to the draft, right?
I'm going to the draft.
It's going to be awesome, man, for you.
It's going to be exciting. I'm still trying to think if I want to wear my on one of the days wear my Justin Fields sweatshirt jersey. Just for one last sake. I was also thinking about ordering a hat that just says sports on it. So
what you need to do is what I have for my other channel. You got to get a hat and get embroidered NFL Outdated and put like YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok on it or something like that.
Well, I'm going to be doing some live podcasts from the draft. We'll do one our regular one on the Wednesday night from the hotel in Detroit. But then I'll be there pretty much all day. It's a waiting game all day Thursday, so I've got some portable mics we'll be doing live from the draft, and just to kind of show everybody the setup. I'm kind of excited for it, and now I think knowing that the Bears are going to do something at quarterback with the draft. That is a little bit more exciting as you kind of think about it. Okay, now, a new start. But this has to be going back to what Coach T said, this has to be, Super Bowls. We have to, have a quality, just quarterback, and we just have to really have a great game plan. And so I think when you look at this, it's hard right now to say the Chicago Bears got better today. And maybe you were kind of, looking back to Jordan Love, when the Green Bay Packers drafted Jordan Love, you didn't look at that pick and say Green Bay Packers got better today, did you?
No, I was super ticked off because, in all honesty, and listen, I was wrong. Okay, I just made a video today called "In Goot We Trust." You saw it. Talked about Gutekunst and how he has proven that he's made the right call. Right. Here's the thing. During that time, the reason why we were so mad about the Jordan Love trade or draft pick was because we actually needed a wide receiver. And if they would have just went and got, who was it? T. Higgins or someone like that during there, or was it Justin Jefferson? I can't remember which one it was. Whoever it was. And with Aaron Rodgers going on 2 MVPs after that, that was quote unquote the better move at the time. What they did was they were setting us up for the future. They probably were right. I wonder, though, if we went and got one of those wide receivers, if we would have won a Super Bowl. And he was there. We were there. We were competing right now, and they were planning ahead. So that's the hard part for me. We will never know. And right now, I have to say that it was Goot was right. I think that's kind of where you're going to have to land too. As long as he, Caleb Williams or whoever it is, does what you guys are hoping he does. You might look at this podcast a year from now and going, man, I was wrong. I should have been so excited. Or you might be saying, man, you guys should have listened to me. You should have hired me as a GM. Like you're saying that. So it all depends on how it goes. It's too early to tell, but they believe that they're making the best decision for their franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've been giving Ryan Poles the benefit of the doubt on especially from the 2023 draft picks that he hit on, right? And I think the Packers have had that. I mean, it's hard as a Bears fan to admit that Packer fans have had that goodwill because they have hit on all these other draft picks. They have these wide receivers that come out of nowhere and do well, right? Yeah. And so I think, that's probably the one question mark I'm going to have now, right? Is, beyond quarterback, what are they going to do with the rest of draft picks? What are they going to do with the rest of the roster? Because, this defense, the way it played at the end of last year, is ready to win now. And DJ Moore is ready to win now. And obviously Keenan Allen is, because he's got this 1 year, this year, and we'll see. So it's tough. You give up a 5th round pick that could be, a late round player. Obviously, you got players like all the time, like Puka Nacua, right? These wide receivers that hit, and so that's. Sure. I want to be able to trust that my GM is gonna and the organization is gonna do the right things later on in the draft, because that's where you build your roster, and that's where you prove your worth as GM, that you are going to be all in on championships, and not just for 1 year, but going forward, and looking at this, maybe it is playoffs or bust for Chicago this year. It might be for some of us. For some,
yeah, it's been a long time, right? We've beaten you guys 10 games in a row.
Thanks.
When's the last time you made the playoffs, right? Like at the end of the day, you're just tired of getting kicked around, being talked about as one of the worst teams in the league. Like that, there has to be a moment. It's like, we're tired of this.
Piling on here.
No. What I'm being like, I'm trying to be genuine. I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Oh yeah.
But like, if you have to get to a place, you're like, enough's enough. We got to do something about this, and we need to start going all in. We've been preparing for the future for a long time, and it has not worked. So it's not that we're forgetting about the future, but we were close this year. We've added pieces. They're veteran pieces, and we've got 4 good picks that we need to hit on. And you're going to hit on the first one, and most likely you're going to hit on the second one. So even if you hit on both of those, you are already in a better position than you were last year. And I think, it's possible. I know what you're saying. I want a lot more picks to get. There's a lot more holes that we need to fix. I don't know. Is there still room for free agencies to get picked up? Like, Campbell just went to the 49ers, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of smart move, right? Like, is there anyone else that you guys could add? You have money, right?
Yeah, we still have money, and I think there are some, free agents that you could fill the roster with, right? I think they have picked up some depth pieces at offensive line and center, which was sorely needed. The hope was, in my estimation, that they would go tackle, center, because that's what you want. You look at some of the best teams, you look at the Lions, some of these teams, they have dominant offensive lines that in the playoffs are going to be able to move the line of scrimmage. And for what it was worth, the Bears were starting to do that later on the season. Like even with some of the deficiencies they had at center and having a rookie right tackle, they were starting to move the line of scrimmage, and even in that Packer game, right? I did like the game plan of the Packer game is run the ball, shorten the game, and we almost pulled it off that way, and so I liked that, just the ability to run that way, and so I think you that's where you want to have that offensive line. You can look at the Packers, right? Their linemen, even like Zach Tom, some of these linemen just seem to really hit. And that's kind of, if you don't have a good line, I don't care how talented your quarterback is. Even like everyone says that Caleb Williams, is generational. But you look at him behind his line in 2023 at USC, it was horrid, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was kind of surprised. It kind of felt like a version of Justin Fields running for his life, right? And then
Exactly. And
making some
smaller version.
crazy
Yep.
plays. I mean, the good news is, he can make plays running for his life. I mean, that is a positive. I do agree. O-line is way undervalued, and everyone say, of course we value it. Well, do you value it in the draft?
Yes.
Do you value it in free agency? Because see, like my Packers, it's kind of weird because it seems like we lost Runyon and Bach, right? And it's like, wow, like we should be really digressing on our O-line, but it's like, no, we're not. We're going to fit someone else in there in the right spot, and I don't know when we're going to draft them. They have a knack. Like, we let Lindsey go. He was one of the best. I think it was Lindsey, wasn't it? He was one of the best centers. Went to the Chargers for huge money, and it's like people don't even know that guy's name anymore because they're like, we've just moved on. And I don't know what it is about our development. I don't know what it is about our drafting. I think that's an important piece that you're bringing up that's absolutely crucial to the Bears, to the Lions, to the Vikings, whoever. You have to have that, or else you can't let your quarterbacks run for their lives. I think watching what Justin Fields has done for years has not been fair to Justin Fields. I think he's a way better quarterback than a 6th round pick. I am shocked that this still has happened because this kid, I believe, with a good O-line, and he's now playing with a good O-line, he can ball out. I mean, he's got the potential. I know everyone wants to hate on Justin Fields, but he's literally been running for his life for, was it 3 seasons, 2 seasons? And it's like, that's just not fair. When Jordan Love had to run for his life, he was throwing picks. It was ugly. We were like, oh my goodness, our fan base turned. Some people are saying, let's put it in Clifford. Because you need the O-line.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, I had a lot of people say, obviously, when I was the sport of Fields, that, hey, if you went to the Falcons, go ahead, be a Falcons fan. I'm like, no, I can respect the player and still be a Bears fan. And I think that's going to be the hard thing, if he does kind of ball out with the Steelers this year, right? And, sign a long-term deal and see him long-term with the Steelers. I in the 90s, the Bears stunk. So the Steelers were kind of my second team because being an Iowa Hawkeye fan, they looked a lot like, my Hawkeyes. And so I liked Cordell Stewart. I liked the Jerome Bettis. I liked, those Steelers teams. And so I can respect the Steelers. I love Mike Tomlin. I know this blows my mind. We got, some Steeler fans, they're just not a fan of Mike Tomlin. They want him out. And I'm like, he has been so consistent. He's a player's coach. And I really think that Fields can flourish under him. And my hope is that he gets that opportunity this year. Obviously, that would be helpful for the Bears if he does get that opportunity, maybe 2-3 games in, and he gets whatever threshold it is for the playing time for that conditional pick to go up to the 4th round pick. That would be the hope, not only for the Bears, but then even for Justin Fields, because he really was the consummate professional, dealing with the media better than Caleb Williams did in college. And that was one of my things I talk about all the time. I just don't know how he's going to deal in the market. Chicago has been starving for a quarterback to be the guy. And if Caleb's going to come in and he's going to be, selfish, if he's going to, just, be aloof, he's going to get eaten alive by the market. Here, Roasty coming in here. Caleb will have the same issues as Fields. I agree with you. It's hard, but I agree, Roasty. I think you're correct. And that's huge. So Trev, is there now looking at the Bears having a rookie quarterback, let's just kind of throw it out here. What do you think early on, what do you think the finish is going to be 1 through 4 in the division? The Lions are still going to be up there, right?
Oh, yeah. I think it's still going to be the Packers and Lions going for it. I think the Bears will be third, but that doesn't mean the Bears aren't going to make the playoffs. I mean, they might not. Maybe they really struggle with the rookie, but like you and I've already said this multiple times on your podcast, on my show. I actually didn't think it mattered who the quarterback was, and you guys were all like shocked by one. I'm like, it doesn't matter if you have Fields, it doesn't matter if you have Caleb. Whatever you're going to do, this team's starting to turn things around. So I think, and you posted in the live stream today, there's a chance that there's 3 teams that could be 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, if the Vikings get a quarterback, like this is going to be nuts. And so that's a realistic possibility. I don't think they're all going to be all 3 of them. So I'm gonna go on a bold thing, and I'm going to say our Packers are going to somehow win the division. I think the Lions are coming second, the Bears are coming third, and the Vikings coming fourth at this stage. And I could be wrong. I mean, we're in March. A lot can happen. The draft hasn't even happened yet. We don't know. But that's where I'm at right now. But maybe what if Caleb Williams becomes the best thing since Brett Favre, and now the Bears are second, or I don't know if they could win the division with a rookie guy. That'd be a stretch for me. But if you get a wild card, I think you'd be extremely happy with that for next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's obviously I try to be a little bit even keel. I've kind of gone a little bit off the deep end with some people when you talk about Justin Fields better than Jordan Love. I still love Anyway, we'll kind of we'll leave that at be. But it really is hard. I'm not going to say the Bears will win the division. It just there's so much that obviously we don't know yet, right? But
you said they were winning it last year.
No. I did say the Lions were winning. I thought the Bears would be second.
I know. I'm just saying when you were doing that 12 wins thing, I'm like, then that means they're winning the division. But you did cool off and say the Lions are going to win.
I did. But yeah, I that second and third spot. I mean, I get it, right? The Packers made a run. The Packers, and got some good juju, right? And got some good experience. You saw a lot of good flashes. Jordan Love can make a lot of great throws. And so there's a lot of excitement. So I'm not going to throw cold water on you there. Between this, to be honest, between the second and third teams in the division, I think it is going to be a toss up between the Bears and the Packers. I think just, I mean, right. Quarterback aside, obviously quarterback's important, but with what the Bears have done defensively and offensively, that should keep them in games. And that's what you want from an organization is to be in games. And that can at least kind of keep you around the 10-7, 9-8, whatever, second, third place. And so it's interesting with the Vikings though, right? I think, we don't know what quarterback they're going to get. They're going to get a quarterback in the draft, right? Are they going to be, they have to probably get something pretty high to get their franchise guy, franchise altering quarterback. They're going to have to probably sacrifice both of those number 1 picks, right? And if they do, I mean, they still have more holes to fill, right?
Yeah, but if you're the Chargers, aren't you wanting to trade back and get more picks? I think you know what I mean. If they come up and get 5 and they go get Maine or Daniels or whatever quarterback, and they're happy with that, I mean that's a pretty cool thing. But here's a side note, Andy, that you might like.
Yeah.
So the Lions beat your team and my team the first time we played them, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second time we beat them and you beat them.
Yeah, handily.
I'm just saying, like, there may have been a shift. And so these Lion fans, I'm pumped for them that they've had a good season. And I do think they have a good team. So I don't want to say they're not a good team, but it's not a shoo-in that they're gonna sweep us. It's not a shoe in they're going to sweep you. They didn't do it last year. What if the Lions get swept by the Bears and the Packers next year?
I can see that because that is interesting because, sometimes a team just has your number, right? And for whatever reason, obviously the Packers have had the Bears number, and it's been forever, right? And last year, for whatever reason, we've talked about the seventh letters, talked about this on the pod, that the Lions have issues with running quarterbacks, and quarterbacks that kind of play outside the pocket. And Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, those are both similar styles, and with the rosters now, Bears adding DeAndre Swift, and Keenan Allen, the Lions could have issues with that. And, obviously, with what happened on Thanksgiving, I mean,
that was wild.
Whatever the Packers did, it did kind of expose the Lions a little bit. So yeah, I mean, that would be possible. I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. Wow.
They're still good. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I just don't think that we want to give. And on this, of course, they're not going anywhere. They're going to fight. They're going to be good, but let's not just roll over and pretend like we didn't win those games. Like at the end of the day, we won those games. We won them we beat them handily in their barn on Thanksgiving. It was insane. You guys beat them. That's just a fact. So let's not give them the division title right now and say, oh, because they did it last year. That doesn't mean anything. Now, granted, I do think they improved in free agency, so I want to give them some props. And I do think they're a very well-coached, hardworking team.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously there's a lot that can happen in free agency and that can happen. But yeah, I mean, I've been all in on the Lions for a couple years now, to saying, okay, I like what they've done, what they've built. But now, I mean, obviously they proved that they belong. And so you just never know. Now they're the hunted, right? Now they're the, so there's a lot of things that can happen. But who knows, division wise, there's so much left to really kind of be decided. I'm still just kind of, letting this whole, Justin Fields stuff sink in. I was kind of, pushing it off for a little while. And it's just, it's crazy that Kenny Pickett, garnered a little bit more. Here we go. What did Pickett got a higher return? That just, that blows my mind. And that would be the one thing that I would wonder. Poles made made a mistake with Claypool, right? That was an issue. Now this, so whoever they pick, it better be right. It just better be right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what do you think, Andy? Russell Wilson or Justin Fields in Pittsburgh?
Well, I think it's guaranteed right now that Russell Wilson's going to start week 1 as starting quarterback. I think that's just been decided. I think a little bit part of it is to appease Russell Wilson. But, maybe this is the fresh start that Justin Fields needs, that seventh letter talked about him needing, and maybe this reinvigorates him. But the question is, will he get that opportunity? And then who's he throwing the ball to, right? Obviously George Pickens. They traded Deontay Johnson.
Wild. Well, they have the pick number 20. So, they could draft someone there. Isn't there still some wide receivers are still available? It wasn't DJ Shark. No, who's there's a couple guys that are still floating around here. So
yeah, but they're not top level guys, right? I think obviously they're depth receivers. It's interesting as I'm kind of thinking through this, right? When you look at Russell Wilson and where has he flourished most with?
Well, Seattle,
a team that ran the ball, right?
Yep.
But the team that had top level wide receivers, right? I mean,
True.
he had some great wide receivers.
Yeah.
George Pickens, I mean, he's good. He's had issues with his just diva-like personality. Oh yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. They could draft somebody that's going to be right there with the top. So here's the thing. What if just the way things play out, first couple games, Russell Wilson struggles, Justin Fields gets in because he's able to use the ability to move the pocket and just it's hard because I still believe that Justin Fields is a top level quarterback. He has that potential, but I just don't know if he's gonna get the opportunity.
Well, if Russell Wilson struggles, Justin Fields is going to get the opportunity. He's not going to give it back. That's my bold prediction in March. I'm just telling you that right now. And it wouldn't even surprise me at this stage if Justin Fields outplays him in preseason and is the starter on day one. I don't care what you're paying people. At the end of the day, you get to win games. They want to win the division. They made the playoffs last year. They now have two quarterbacks that are totally able to win games in the NFL. They should be extremely happy that they got Justin Fields for a 6th round pick, and there is no risk at all to do that. What a great pickup. They could even trade one of those quarterbacks away.
Yeah. It really is. Guy. The Steelers really, you give kudos for them on both of those moves. Cause both of them have been starters. So yeah. Rossi says KJ Osborne is available. I don't know. He's all that good though. I mean, he had some good games, but you talk to Vikings fans and they've been out on Osborne for a while too, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, he's been a third guy, right? Because Addison has outplayed him now. And, but yeah, you're right. When Jefferson went down, he didn't do much. But maybe he does produce well in Pittsburgh. They need somebody. That's all I'm saying is they need somebody else. Personally, I would just go draft a wide receiver from the draft. There's going to be some studs available.
So Vikings trade Jefferson. I mean, that's gonna. I don't think there's any chance at all the Vikings trade Justin Jefferson. Number one, he's the best wide receiver in the game, in my opinion. I mean, obviously there's a lot of great wide receivers. Number two, marketability. You have to. And number three is you have a rookie quarterback. You have to have a talented veteran wide receiver. And I don't care, I don't know what your thoughts are on Jordan Addison. He could be a great wide receiver, good wide receiver, but he's not a veteran. He's only been in his second year. Justin Jefferson will make whatever rookie quarterback, he'll make him adjust that much quicker. You cannot trade Justin Jefferson.
No, you cannot trade Justin Jefferson. The only way they're going to trade Justin Jefferson, if Justin's like, I'm out, this is ridiculous. Yes. He didn't sign Kurt back. And, that's, in my opinion, they're keeping Jefferson. And if it's J.J. McCarthy or slot in whatever name you want to put in there, I mean, we're worried. Oh, no, J.J. McCarthy can't do it. Brock Purdy is ripping up the league because he's surrounded by guys. Quarterback's going to be surrounded by Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, Aaron Jones. You're telling me this kid's not going to have success? If he doesn't, you picked wrong.
That's a good question. So Michael H., a great one here. They traded away Diggs right before having to pay. So, I mean, that's
possible.
But Diggs was not as marketable and synonymous with the Vikings. I mean, you look at, I went to all 4 training NFC North training camps, and, the Vikings, shout out to the Vikings training camp. That was the best one of the 4, just the way it was set up and everything. But they had the gritty on the side, learn how to gritty, and Justin Jefferson. That's huge marketability for them. So Diggs was good, but he didn't have that type of connection, even internationally, Justin Jefferson. So I think, but yeah, I mean, obviously, I still think Jefferson, will he sign that massive contract? I don't know if he was all that connected to Cousins or not.
Dude, the money talks. He wants to be known as the guy. You know,
He does.
I mean, okay, so he just posted there that the guys are saying that JJ McCarthy's going in the top 10. How? So you got the Bears, number 1. You got the Washington Commanders. Those 2 quarterbacks come off the board right there. New England's taking a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So you got the top 3 picks as quarterbacks. And then Arizona's not taking a quarterback. The Chargers are not taking the quarterback. Maybe the Giants. Tennessee, I don't think is going to. Atlanta's not anymore. Chicago's got number 9. The Jets aren't taking a quarterback. So you're talking 3 teams are going to take quarterbacks. Maybe if people are trading down with some of these teams and move and they're trading up and then they're trading down, that's the only way, right?
Yeah, okay. I was gonna make a point here too. So I'm a massive Chicago Bears fan. Probably the only way to knock me off of my fandom would be if the Bears took JJ McCarthy number 1 overall.
Oh my goodness, dude!
Listen,
if this happens, I know you won't come over to the Packers. Okay, I understand that, but I can see you becoming a Lions fan.
Yeah, I'm halfway. I'm partway there. I can empathize.
I'm just saying, if that happens, you pick JJ McCarthy at number 1. I can see you going and saying, "I'm all in." And you know what? It would actually be good for business for you.
Probably would.
Because the internet would blow up that Andy NFL outdated switch teams. This might be the greatest thing that ever happened to you. You might go, like, your ratings might go through the roof. I'm just saying.
It's gonna be like it'd be like me becoming Hollywood Hogan or something.
And
that would be me becoming a Packer fan. I think that would just be.
Was that Nitro? No, what was that organization that had
WCW?
WCW. That's right.
Yeah.
Where Goldberg was
school wrestling.
Born.
Yeah. Okay, everyone's trying to tell me this Bears are taking Caleb Williams.
I think you should prepare yourself that he is getting taken there, and if he doesn't, just be shocked with the rest of the thing. I think you want to still. It feels like you're trying to still be the villain here, and you're like, I still with Justin. I think Caleb is probably the guy that they're going with, and that's pretty exciting, to be honest. But if they go somewhere else, then you can say, listen, I've been saying. Daniels.
It probably is. Everyone's kind of pointing to that. I get that. I think we'll know more after his pro day. We'll know more all of that, and I think obviously the smoke is everything's kind of starting to build. We'll know more when they have all this measurables and all of that. I think that's gonna be interesting. I do like. Michael points out. Komet, Gerald Everett. I like those picks. So you got veterans. Everett is another veteran who's been able to do it all, pairing with Komet. So, I mean, you look at the foundation is here. The foundation is so much better than when Justin Fields came into it. Just, coaching wise, defensive, more pieces are there on the offensive line. Just everything is there set up for something. So, obviously we'll see. Let's see, Michael, top 10 wide receiver against a man in DJ. In great points here against the man coverage, DJ, and top 10 wide receiver against zone and Allen. What did I tell you? DJ Moore is a top 10 wide receiver. I think I said that. I was trying to look for the clip of us debating Keenan Allen. I need to find that one.
Yeah, I still think Keenan Allen's the better wide receiver, but you know what's nice is you have them both now.
Yeah.
So let's just say they're both top 10. You've got 2 top 10 wide receivers. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Right? The wide receiver cores in our division are the best in the NFL at the moment.
So I am still, I mean, I know you want to be the villain, whatever. I'm just, there's a lot of just hesitation on a lot of it. And yes, we've got those top 2 wide receivers. We need a lot more depth to continue. And I think we're going to have to, with one of those picks, draft a wide receiver. I love, the Brendan Rice.
You think at 9, you got to go wide receiver?
No, not 9, but a little
Oh,
bit
okay.
further down. Like if you get,
Yeah.
I mean, Leggett, I think is another one. You've got a lot of wide receivers. I think that could be solid picks. Just making sure that they fit into the offense. So there is a lot of depth there at the position in the draft, but they're going to have to do something with line, edge, wide receiver, whatever it is. I mean, so that is why that is my biggest hesitation on Caleb Williams. Is he worth giving up, filling all these other needs? Right? I mean, he may be, great quarterback. He has to be a great quarterback if they pick him and they stay with 4 picks. They just has to be. He has to hit. Listen, Roasty Lad McConkey. But he just has to hit if they're going to give up adding all these other picks. So, Michael H. been a Bears fan for 45 years. Appreciate you commenting here and listening to us as well. We're still waiting for our first franchise quarterback. It sucks. I mean, obviously, McMahon, right, was, good for that year, and then nothing. So. I thought Jay Cutler was going to be the guy, but
he had potential. Should have.
So, still a lot to digest. We'll be back on Wednesday as well for the normal one at 9:30 CST. Hopefully you're able to join us. Always enjoy when you're able to join us. I know you got a lot of stuff going on with your hockey content as well. A lot of great Canucks stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. My Kempner Canucks channel is flying off the handle. It's awesome. Just went to the Canucks game on Wednesday. It was fantastic. But it's fun but the problem is I'm trying to do 2 different sports, 2 different channels, and it's a lot of work. But man, I've been enjoying it, and all this kind of news of the NFL has been so fun to talk about. Love it. I love it. This off season's been probably one of my favorite off seasons so far. What's happened is wild, absolutely wild, and I'm really excited about what our Packers are going to look like going into next year. I'm really excited about it. So we'll see how it all shapes down. Maybe I won't be as excited when the season starts, but hey, I got some good news, Andy.
Yeah.
So I've got a new friend.
And yes,
he has season tickets to the Seahawks. And we just talked tonight, and we're talking about going to the Packers Seahawks game in Seattle. It will be my second time going to see the Packers in Seattle, and I'm really looking forward to it. And lower bowl seats, I'm pumped. So that's a real thing. That's like, he's like, yeah, let's do it. Like, he literally texted me, let's do it tonight. So it looks like I'm going, and I'm super pumped about this next year and going to see all the young stars for Green Bay. And
I was going to say that's the way to do it. I mean, definitely Seattle is, I mean, that's a stadium that I'd love to see. That's kind of on my bucket list to see all these different stadiums, because I've been to Soldier Field, and, obviously it's nice having, the Bears support and everything, but I'm not one of those fans that says, oh, it's Soldier Field or nothing else. I mean, Soldier Field's all right. And Seattle, I mean, that would just be an amazing atmosphere. Obviously, especially when your team wins. But I mean, that would be an amazing atmosphere. Obviously, just to obviously see your team, but in a new atmosphere as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Let's see if the Vikings offer Jefferson and their pick to move down. Cards get their wide receiver. Just
Minnesota's not doing that, guys.
No, they're just, I mean, who knows?
I mean, any sense.
Crazier things have happened. I mean, the Bears gave up Justin Fields for a 6th-round pick, so crazier things have happened.
That's true.
Trevor, crazier things have happened. All right, Vocal Vike, Skol, hey, you don't get me to say
right now, the Vikings look like the worst team in the division.
They do.
I mean, right at this moment, so we can say that. I mean, what happens by August and who your starting quarterback is, cool. But right now, you got to be like 4 of 4 in the NFC North. Come on, man.
So when you look at, I mean, if they have a rookie quarterback, I mean, the question I would have, between rookie quarterback in Minnesota as opposed to rookie quarterback in Chicago, right, is this everything surrounding. It'd be interesting. Maybe we'll do that on Wednesday. Just kind of look at the core pieces around the rookie quarterback. The offensive coordinator, the coaches. I think that's huge.
Yeah, they're good.
I love O'Connell for the Vikings.
Same.
And but the other thing is going to be who the quarterback is, right? I mean, I just cannot believe Vikings fans are getting excited for JJ McCarthy. Right? I don't know. I mean,
but
maybe we'll all be wrong.
JJ McCarthy was better than Brock Purdy. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think so.
Well, I'm just saying, right? Like, no one wanted Brock Purdy, and he goes for the very last pick. It's like, like Russell Wilson wasn't drafted high. Jordan Love was they traded down in the first round to get him. Like, there's some gems. Like, I don't think that Minnesota has to trade up.
Okay, so here, and I'm going to give Jordan Love some props here. All right, so everyone listen up because this doesn't usually happen. All right, so here's the difference between Jordan Love and JJ McCarthy. What team did Jordan Love play for?
Oh yeah,
Utah State. Yeah. And he had an offensive coordinator change, and the talent that he was throwing to, right, he wasn't there, right, in college. Albeit he had a lot of interceptions his last year in college, all right? But it was a talent. When you look at J.J. McCarthy, the offensive line that he had, the talent that he had around him, Blake Corum, I mean, I don't have to tell you like what it means to have that type of running game, what it takes off, the stress it takes off the quarterback, that one of the top defenses in the college football. So J.J. McCarthy can make some plays. I'd have to look at how tall he is. But I just think, and going back to your Brock Purdy, I'm an Iowa fan, so I watch Brock Purdy on a regular basis again, at Iowa State versus my Hawkeyes. And he was able to make some plays and just, frustrate us, for years, now he didn't win many of those games. I think maybe he only won one of them. I'd have to go back, but he didn't win many of them, but because of the talent that he had around him. Right. And so I think in the NFL, obviously, Brock Purdy's got that talent and that coaching around him. Jordan Love has had that as well. McCarthy maybe going the opposite. Right. I mean,
yeah. So you're thinking like a Mac Jones situation where he was in a great school, and just didn't produce like that. I think that's a good comparison.
Yeah. That I would agree. You
got to bring that up on Wednesday night with Craig and Shelby and just say, hey.
We'll probably spend more time on Justin Fields stuff on Wednesday as well. I'm sure they will want to dunk on me on that as well. But I definitely appreciate everyone, commenting, following along. Thanks again for you coming on. Where can everyone find you as we kind of close out tonight, Trev?
Yeah. I'm just NFL. Rev Trev NFL on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Absolutely. Definitely subscribe. A lot of great videos, a lot of great content. Even as a Bears fan or an NFC North fan, it's good to kind of peek in at the other teams. And that's what we like to do on Wednesdays, but peek in at all of your videos and say, okay, I see you, Packers. I see you. I don't like you, but I see you. and that's the point. And obviously you can find, me on NFL Outdated on YouTube, on Twitter, X. You can find us clips and everything and interact with us on our FREEZIN #4 POD on the TikTok, as long as it is still a thing. And we'll post a lot of clips from tonight and other videos that you can watch and comment and definitely roast us. So I appreciate everyone kind of tuning in tonight. Let me one more here. Good old Bones. Bears make big mistake. Feeling Caleb is going to be. That's what I'm worried about.
That's what I'm worried about.
Doc Bones. That's what I'm worried about. But that's a whole another video. I still have to do my Justin Fields tearful goodbye video that will be coming soon, and all of that. And I'll throw some water on my face and everything. So all right. Once again, this has been a Freezin for NFC North podcast special Justin Fields trade reaction show. Thanks again, Trev, and hopefully we'll see everyone Wednesday night at 9:30 CST. Thanks again.